Welcome, gentlemen. I've just been sitting here reminiscing about our recent trip to Seattle and all things discussed: chess, cribbage, volleyball, nerds, flight sim, angular. Figured we would take a little flight here at Seattle. Runway 30. Where's the runway? There. Whoa. There we go. 34 right. Does that look familiar? Right there. Oh, they started me way down the runway. So here we go. 34 right, center, and left. Some other planes cruising around. We'll ignore them. As we're taking off, let me show real quick. Understand where we are. Seattle. Here we go. And KSEA. Zoom in. Here's Alki up here, West Seattle, downtown. We'll check it out. Here's the 3 runways, and then Dean, you remember, this is the symbol for a VOR, variable omnidirectional radio. So keep an eye out for that in between those 2 runways. Let's get set up. Let's hop inside the cockpit, and we're pretty much ready to go. You notice we got a split here of... just zoom into that. We were sitting on the runway here, but we're ready to go. Let's take the brakes off and half throttle, and we're out of here. I'm in a Got Gravel Vertigo turboprop. This thing hauls butt, even at half throttle. Let's get this map out of the way so we got full instruments. Pull up. Somewhere back there was the VOR. Whoa, okay, here we go, takeoff. I wanted to show you the VOR, Dino, but... Alright, anyways, let's go gear up. Flaps up. And enjoy the glorious sunset. This is real-time weather. So it's another nice day in Seattle, Crowden. Every good pilot does a aileron roll occasionally, right? Look at these inbound traffic coming right at me. Boom, bob and weave, bob and weave. So I took off 34 right just because I knew that we did, but apparently due to real-time traffic and weather, planes are coming in towards us to the south tonight. So there's all their blinky lights. Another glorious day. Out behind us is the moon and Mount Rainier Beer. And let's cruise over to Alki. Downtown Seattle, off to our 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Oh, cruise ship in the harbor there. Puget Sound, straight ahead. Not to be confused with the ocean. So good. Calls for another barrel roll. Alright, I got half throttle, about 250 knots at half throttle. This thing hauls ass. Alright, I figured we'd cruise out to the Alki. Let's see if I can pull off the, I can go boom, boom, and then I've been practicing the, I want to, ooh. Oh, level out. There we go. Alright, so I've been practicing the, oops, jeez. We'll do that later. Alright, so we're coming into Alki, practicing some camera work. Alki and West Seattle behind us, up and over the hill, but we know Crow likes to go over the beach. The lighthouse is around here somewhere, but right there. Good thing this thing turns on a dime. Ah, the grassy bocce ball court there. All-terrain, switcheroo over to the sand. Crow's house off in the distance somewhere. So good. Let's cruise over the top, and somewhere in here is the... Let's catch the... yep, it's probably right there at our 2 o'clock, 2:30. Catch the water taxi over. Enjoy a sunset over the Olympic Mountains, and we'll climb a little bit. we're going to compete with some traffic here. I thought, we could go back over this way where we came from, and off in the distance, about straight ahead there off of our wing, 4 o'clock or so, is the airport. But that'd be too easy to land straight ahead with easy weather. So let's make this interesting. And we will take off live weather and choose a storm. And we will add some even thicker, deeper clouds. So, okay, that's great. We can't see anything. We hop inside the cockpit and we get a little bit of feel for where we are. I happen to know we're coming, whoa, there's some wind. Let's split the screen, and I'm watching my altitude too. I don't want to crash while we're in the dark. Let's get the map going. Oops, not the map. Let's go back to the map. Let's change to the frequency. Let's go GPS 41. We're just doing circles while I get this set up. And then we'll turn on the wind because I want to be able to see what we got against the wind. Okay, more options. So we go back. What are the winds? Oh my god. Zoom in. This is pouring rain. 31 knots. Okay. Alright, so what we do, we're up at 6,000 feet, cruising around. So what we do is we'll bring up the map only for the purposes of getting the, okay, we're going away from the airport at the moment, but Seattle Airport. Runway 16 left is the one at 110.3. Let's go tune that in. 110.3. And we'll keep circling around to the south, aiming. I generally know that we're heading to the south. So we go boom, we go nav 1. Whoa, we're getting sideways. Good thing I have an eye on this orientation. I can tell where we're headed. Let's keep on cruising to the south. Take that off. We need to, what were we doing? Oh yeah, we need nav, we need more options back. No, we need that, and we need map. Nav 1, 110.3. Send it. Okay, so now we're going to watch down here, and the green arrow is pointing to the airport. We have what's called synthetic vision in the computer screen here, so we kind of can see where we're headed, but if we look outside we can't see crap, right? So let's level out. We're down at 2,000 feet. We're going to climb a little bit here. So to explain this, we've got, let me zoom in here. We've got arrow is the direction to the airport, and this is the horizontal left-right of where we are lined up to the runway for 16 left at that frequency. So the runway is to the right of where we are now, so we want to go over to the right, and then we'll come back to the left, and we want to have the line match up with the arrow here. So that's what you're going to be watching. That's horizontally aligned. Vertically aligned is this thing called a glide slope, this green diamond. So when we're this says the preferred glide slope is below where we are now, so we want to start descending. Airspeed, altitude, glide slope, horizontal situation indicator, HSI, and distance to the airport, 8.5. So those are the things I'll be watching. You can watch them with me and hop outside and see that we have no clue where we are if it wasn't for the instruments. So we'll zoom in on this. The needle swung over to the left, which means we just passed the airport. So we're going to turn in towards the arrow and keep an eye on, we're 7 miles out. Reducing our speed. Synthetic vision will help some. There we go. Here comes the airport, that black blobby. Some airplanes have it, some don't. You don't have to have it if you have an old school airplane with no synthetic vision. You could still do this. It's called a flyby needle. You just watch your needles. It's good we have a 31 knot wind to deal with. Again, it's pitch dark. I mean, the sun's out. I think it's only 6:30 or something. but we're having to do this blind. Watching the green line next to the arrow, when it lines up, we're going to be equal to the runway. Of those 3 runways, we're aiming for the left one. And look at that, it starts to come into view just barely. There's a little break in the action, so we can come in. That's usually how it is, what I was telling you. You break out of the clouds down low with, I don't know, 1,000 feet left. So reduce some throttle, add some flaps. And then we've got let's zoom into this. It's a 29 or 30 knot wind from the right. So we're going to be crabbing our way in. I'm going to fly it from the outside just so you can kind of see. From the inside, it's not as, it's more realistic for sure. It's cheating to be on the outside because you get kind of situational awareness. But from in here, I could generally fly it like this. Notice how I'm aiming off to my 1 o'clock, but maybe even my 2 o'clock to fight this wind. Got other planes on the ground, the red and green blinkies. Another thing that you can watch besides the needle inside the cockpit are these 4 lights. If they're all 4 lit, you're too high. If they're all 4 red, you're too low. You want 2 red, 2 white, so we'll keep an eye on that. I can see the glide slope in my screen that says I'm too high, so we'll drop down a little bit. A little lightning off in the distance never hurt anybody. Still a little too high, but watch the 4 lights on the white. 4 white lights on the left. Gliding in nicely despite the wind. Still a little bit high, but those will change as I pass them. There should be a red. Yep, didn't really see them change. And I will say so myself that this is a glide into an easy landing. Butter the landing. Slam on the brakes, 0 out the throttle, and we are good to go. Solid landing on 16 left in KSEA after a sudden storm developed, lightning and thunder. Thought we had a glorious beach day and golden hour flight going, and all of a sudden the storm rolled in. All right, that's it. One last look at, let's see if I fly up and around. This is the drone cam, fly up and away from the aircraft on the runway and take a look at more planes coming in. There goes a guy that's just buzzing me on the airport. All right, that's it. We'll see you at another flight sometime soon. See ya.